These are some things that you should never ever say to seniors living with dementia. Find out why and what to say instead. Do you recognize me? Many times, because we don't know what to say, we default to asking a dementia patient if he or she recognizes us. It can be very upsetting for dementia patients to not recognize people around them. Asking the person if they know who you are can make them feel guilty or anxious if they don't remember, or offended if they do. Give a warm hello instead. Alternatively, it may help to say your name and your relationship to them. Something like, "Hi Kathy, I'm your good friend David. How are you doing?" will work very well. "I told you." It's common to expect your loved one with dementia to repetitively ask the same question. You might find yourself repeating the same answer over and over again to them, and understandably, this gets very tiring for you. In this case, even if you feel exhausted and irritable, you should always avoid saying "I told you." Saying "I told you" can upset dementia patients and might make them more confused. It's important to remain patient and keep a polite tone of voice. Remember that their cognitive decline is affecting their brain, and it's not their fault. Repeat whatever you have told them and remain as calm as possible. Do you remember? It seems natural to ask your husband, who is living with Alzheimer's, about events from his past. However, doing so directly can be a problem. He may not remember the event, but the expectation that he should remember could make him very anxious. Instead, when you want to engage him in conversation about the past, leave the topic open. You can say, "Pete, I'd love to hear about what your favorite thing to do was when you were growing up." He can then take you along on any adventure that comes to mind. Make sure to not give the impression of applying any pressure on the dementia patient to remember. "You're embarrassing me." People living with dementia can sometimes become belligerent. If, for instance, you are at the store with your dad and he becomes anxious and starts screaming, soothe him by holding his arm in a comforting manner. In a very calm voice, tell him that you forgot something and really need him to help you by going back home. Do not tell him that his behavior embarrasses you as he can't help it. Related to this, why are you doing that? If your husband is pulling on the fringe around a couch cushion, he isn't being purposefully destructive. People with dementia frequently have a compulsion for their fingers to be doing something. Some people will pick at their skin and cause sores. Others will spend hours tearing up pieces of paper or tissues. Your husband won't know why he is doing this, but you can help him by buying him a lap pad or fiddle pad. These products, now widely available, provide both tactile stimulation and keep fingers busy. What shirt do you want to wear? Or what do you want to eat? To people living with dementia, asking them to make a decision from a pool of multiple choices can spark intense confusion. Preserve dignity by offering choices, which is a vital part of care, but simplify the choices. For instance, hold up 2 shirts and ask the dementia patient which one she'd like to wear. It is quite possible that she may mention the color of one shirt, but point at another, so go with the one she points to and confirm if that is the one she wants. Then after she says yes, you can say, "Great choice, let's put that on," and then help her dress. Her dementia is getting worse. When talking about the condition of your dementia-diagnosed loved one, make sure they are not in the same room. Just because they are not actively taking part in the conversation does not mean that they are not listening. They might get a sense of what you are discussing about them, which can result in emotional or aggressive behavior. Abrupt changes in personality are a common occurrence in dementia patients. Instead, you should go to another room or place. This way, you will not cause them any pain or embarrassment about their condition. Don't argue. If your mom says that an apple is an orange, don't argue. If your wife says that she used to live in a house that you've never heard of or seen, just say something like, "Really? I'd forgotten that." A person living with dementia may have a hard time with words. Don't make your loved one feel bad by criticizing his or her words. Just go along for the ride. As long as the dementia patient has what he or she wants, then everyone should be happy. You are home! When your loved one says that he wants to go home, he is in reality anxious and looking for a feeling of safety and comfort. Don't reiterate that he is already home. You may ask him if he misses home a lot. If he says yes, you can ask what he misses about it. The key is to engage him in a conversation so that the anxiety that causes him to want to go home will eventually subside. You just ate! People living with dementia often don't remember if they ate, so they may want to eat again. Do not scold your loved one with dementia for wanting to eat again. Often, keeping snack foods around can help. You can suggest some treats that he likes and then offer a small amount. That snack may be enough to satisfy without arguing about the fact that he just had supper. We need to hurry! Grandpa has an appointment to see the doctor, and you've waited 3 months for this, but he is stressed and fearful. He gets upset and throws things rather than getting dressed. Do not rush Grandpa, as it won't help. Calm yourself down first and offer support by agreeing that this is a stressful situation. Take time to sit and comfort him. It would help immensely if you prepared for the trip really early. If not, you may just have to cancel the appointment. Here, let me do that. Your husband, who is trying to get a button into a buttonhole of his shirt, might be taking forever, or maybe he is trying unsuccessfully to zip up his pants. As tempting as it is, do not step in. Give him time to finish the task. People who are living with dementia will become easily confused, and stress just makes the confusion worse. Trying to get a button in a buttonhole control can be a massive frustration, yet he may not want help. Allow room for slowness and mistakes. Your anger or anxiety only accelerates his anxiety and can ruin what could be an otherwise decent day. Your brother died 10 years ago. A person living with dementia may forget about a past bereavement or ask for somebody who has died. Reminding them of a loved one's death can be very painful, and they may react as though hearing the news for the first time all over again. How to respond to these types of difficult questions will vary for different circumstances. However, it's always important to show sensitivity and minimize any distress. Try not to avoid the question, as this can cause the person to feel more anxious. For some, encouraging them to talk about the person they are asking about can be comforting. Ask the person how she is feeling. Sometimes asking about a particular family member or friend is due to the person having an unmet need. Come, let's get your shoes on and get to the car. We need to go to the shop for some groceries. Or let's have a cup of tea now. Then after that, we can go for a nice walk and get lunch in that cafe you like in town. Long, complex sentences can be difficult to grasp for somebody with dementia. It's difficult to process several ideas at once as cognitive abilities slow down, so it's better to give directions or instructions one step at a time. Use short, simple sentences as much as possible. Avoid speaking in loud environments, and wait until you have the person's full attention before you start a conversation. Be more precise and break up tasks into smaller steps. Do not talk down to your loved one or treat them like a child, because it may hurt their feelings and dignity. In summary, it is important to remember that with time, the ability to communicate will decline for people with dementia. The progression and severity of these symptoms can vary from patient to patient. Sensitivity and good communication are the keys to a good quality of life for your loved one with dementia.